The organisation I'm going to talk about is the Durham and Darlington County Racial Equality Council. And unfortunately, because of the Equalities Act, racial equality councils were phased out so that it's no longer in existence. But I was the chair of that organisation for, I would say, maybe 8 years. The organisation was originally set up because of the Commission for Racial Equality, which was a government body that set up the Racial Equality Councils, which were local charities in different areas. And it started off as the Darlington Racial Equality Council, but then we spread to the whole of County Durham, so it involved the local authority of both areas. Well, we were an advocate for people who were suffering from racial discrimination. We worked with statutory and voluntary bodies to ensure that they had policies in place to eliminate racial discrimination. We did educational activities in schools and youth clubs. We were also involved in ensuring that the statutory agencies adhered to the government policies that were introduced, the Race Relations Amendment Act. Well, I think it had a great impact because it represented several people who were being discriminated against. It also, one of the most important things is what is educated people about racial discrimination and hate crime, and it challenged the authorities to look at themselves and their practices. Well, there's always change when it starts off. Whether the change is sustained is another issue. I am unsure that change is being sustained. I think people tick boxes to ensure that they comply, but whether we see real change in people's attitudes, and it's questionable. The main reason for our achievement was that we were consistent in what we believed in and the message that we took through to the wider community. And we represented a minoritized community, so we gave that community a voice, and that was really very important for those communities. Yeah, we had many celebrations during those years of a diverse community. We had diversity days in Darlington and Durham, where we had music, we had dance, we had poetry, we had food. You know, we brought the communities together, and that included the host community as well. You know, it wasn't only for people of color, it was for the host community to learn as well. And I think it's a great shame that we don't have racial equality councils anymore, because today there is no one, unless it's a hate crime that you can report to the police, there's no one for members of the community to go and report to or have as an advocate for racial discrimination and hate crime. I think the importance of the Racial Equality Council in those days was that it was the only organization that represented black people. It was the only organization that had to fight for a voice in Darlington and County Durham, which is generally in those days was mostly monocultural in that time. You know? So Stephen Lawrence and the Climbier report, you know, was instrumental in us having a voice. Yeah, the Macpherson report was really very instrumental in us having a voice as an organization.